Live, you guys. I was trying to orientate the camera so that it was horizontal, but for whatever reason, it wouldn't allow me to do that. Anyhow, I thought I would just, snatch the bandage off and jump on here live because I'm pretty shy when it comes to that. And I always have to challenge myself to do it. And I kind of feel like I'm just telling myself the same story. You know how we tell ourselves the same story, and at a certain point, it's like, do you really believe it's true? Do you really believe that? Most of the time, the stories that we retell ourselves is rooted in falsehood. So yeah, there's that. And so I'm just out here doing the thing. I'm just want to see if I can see myself and maybe if there are, I don't know. This is new to me. Maybe if there are comments and I can see them in case somebody pops on. Let's get into it though. With all of the things that has happened, with the solar eclipse, we had the new moon in Aries, and then the equinox in Aries, and all of that. And I'm hearing a lot of grumblings from people about things that have happened in their own families, people falling out and relationships sort of like transforming, disappearing, and all this sort of bizarre stuff happening. And I can relate because in my own life, some bizarre things have happened with relationships and in family and everything, and it gave me pause and it got my attention. Now, I am no expert with the moon phases and the planetary alignments, but a girl had to look into it. And what I discovered is that we know Aries is a fire sign, okay? Just to give you a tidbit on where I was going with the whole thing. We know Aries is a fire sign. And so when you have, in this particular fire sign, it burns through things. It cleans and clears and it, boom, it's very direct. I love an Aries too. I love an Aries because I love people who are very direct, straight to the point, yet tactful. Anyway, burn straight through the thing. So you got the Aries and the new moon, and then you got the equinox and Aries and all this other stuff. And basically, what's happening in the world as we know it is things are changing. The old paradigms are leaving, they're crumbling before our eyes. I mean, all you need is your bucket of popcorn and your water, whatever your favorite drink is, and just sit back and watch everything that's happening. Some of it is looking ugly, but that's kind of how it looks before, when you think about any type of a stone or anything that's beautiful, in the beginning it might not look very glamorous. Anyway, it might not look very, glamorous and pretty in the process. It's going to look ugly. It's going to look a little rough. And then when everything is all said and done, it is shiny. It's a finished product. It's beautiful. And even though it doesn't look fancy in the beginning and while the process is going, it is still very beautiful in its rough stages. And that's some of the things that we have to remember. And I have to remind myself too. Although it's annoying and I can get annoyed relatively easily, I'm like, this is so annoying. Or it might be on the other end of it where like, you know what, you're getting on my nerves, that type of thing. So, but at the same time, I have to take a step back and be like, while it might be annoying, I know that it's beautiful. It's for the highest good. All that said, back to the relationships and, maybe some family, things butting heads. This is also a time, and it's not just in our personal lives, but as a whole. Everything that you see that's playing out in the world, in some way, on some level, we can kind of see some parallels in our own lives, some parallels in our own lives with the same thing. Okay, so what is just a reflection? Everything is a reflection of what's happening on a small level and also on a big level. And you meet it with love. This, I'm gonna always say this. This is always the period. This is always absolute. Whatever the thing is, you meet it with as much love as you possibly can. You see the light and the good in it as much as you possibly can. I don't care if the good is big as what? Let me find something real small, real tiny. I don't care if it's this big. Okay, even if it's that big, you look at that. That is the good, that is the light. You take that just like any other small seed that can be planted in any environment that is the best environment for it, and then it sprouts out something new. So you hold on to that aspect of it. And so again, you meet that with love, but also like with the family and stuff and the friends, the compassion. We have to meet that with compassion as well. A lot of things just meet it, just you're meant to be shown. You're meant to have clarity at this time. Like I said with the Aries, it's very direct and it's like in your face. It's time. It's time for things to shed, and whatever is not a 10, remember the power of tens, whatever is not a 10 in your life, it's time for it to go bye bye. It may have been a 10 at one point, but if it's not doing anything for you right now, it's time for it to go bye bye. But I ran across this quote, and I thought it was really beautiful, and very perfect and on point for this time. I was listening to a podcast, and the quote is, when it comes to other people and you're having a hard time with someone, especially someone that maybe is in your life that you're unable to shed, okay? Someone that you have to deal with on a regular basis, whether it's a co-worker, a family member in the household, um, anything like that. Be able to fill your cup with love. Be able to give energy to others, even when they're being a certain way towards you. Okay? Keep giving and giving love until their cup is full. Overfill their cup. And any issues that you have, address the issues with that person with more love. Because trying to meet that person, say if they have a really rotten attitude, if you're going to meet them with that same attitude, then it's not going to work. If you're going to meet them with the same perspective as they have, it's not going to work. It's just going to cancel each other out. And the best way to elevate that thing is with more love. You might be like, you know what? I can't do it. Baby steps. Do the best you can. What you're going to find, you're going to watch this whole thing transform. It's almost like arguing. Now, I don't know if you've been on the other end of this or the one who actually did it, but imagine arguing and then you let the other person just fuss. You stop and just let them fuss and you don't have any response back. Or you might have a response that's really nice and sort of like a pattern interrupt in the conversation. And they just keep trying. They keep trying. But there's nothing, they don't have anything to grasp a hold to because you're not giving them that type of energy. It's the same concept. Now, if you continue to fight and argue with the same type of energy that they're giving, then you're going to get more of the same thing. And then here you are working with, it's like when you go to plant flowers and you want this beautiful buffet of all these beautiful flowers in your garden or your yard, you're not going to take gas and pour on top. You're not going to take vinegar and pour on top. You're not going to do that, right? And so it's the same thing. So if you are in the process of in your quantumness, because love is the magic wand, it is the magic wand. If you're going to, create something very beautiful, then what are you going to put in it? Beauty. If you're cultivating a relationship or if you're cultivating beauty in your environment and the person that you are dealing with is in that environment, whether it's work or at home, okay, or at the church or the community center, whatever it is, then you have to do what you need to do. It is your responsibility to cultivate that environment with what is beautiful, with what it needs. It is your responsibility to put everything that you need to put in it to make the environment conducive to beautiful growth and bounty. All right, so I'm going to repeat that because I really like it. Be able to fill your cup with love and be able to give energy to others when they're being a certain way towards you that is not loving. Okay. Keep giving and giving love until their cup is full. Overfill their cup. They are not going to know what to do with that. Okay. But give you love back. Now, this is only in those situations. In other situations, when you can get out of it or release it, release that thing all the way. Because, all right. And then, on top of what I said about overfilling their cup with love, they could be the most egregious person, relative, or whatever. There's always love in people, there's love in everyone. Even if it doesn't seem that way, there's something. Write down 10 things that you love about this person every day. What happens is it glitches the version of them that you may be attracting into the field. Okay, so do the best you can. You might be like, well, I don't have 10. This, what I am sharing with you is basically, instead of being in the 3D and acting 3D and doing the arguing and low vibrational behaviors along with the other person, and you might be that other person, and if you are, cut it out. Go ahead and flip the script on that, all right, and move in more love and more grace, all right. But as a quantum being, this is all a part of the magic. You are literally working magic when you use love and energy. When you're using energy, something that you cannot see, when you're using that to transform your experience. Okay, so write down 10 things you love about this person every day so that that will glitch that version of them that is, that you're arguing with, that will glitch that version of them that you might be attracting into the field. And so what happens is you drown out that frequency with more love because you can't cancel the low vibration energy out with the same energy. You just can't do it. So the goal is, how do you move more into the frequency of love? It's a choice. You just choose it and stand on it. It's very powerful. You are a superhero. That is what you are. And when I first, you guys, it came to me after a meditation. I wasn't expecting anything. I'm just sitting still, being quiet, say a little prayer, and I just sit there and, I might do a couple of chants, like I am rooted, I am grounded, I am safe, I am love, I'm light, whatever. But one day after a meditation, it hit me that I could love everybody no matter what. And honey, when I tell you, I wept. I wept. I literally felt this burden lifting off my shoulders when I understood, when I really knew, when I really, really knew that I could love any and every one freely, period. I don't care who it is, period. Oh, I was so shocked. I wasn't looking for that. I didn't even know that I had this feeling. I didn't know that I was carrying this weight. It just, it's beautiful. And then with that, I also felt like a badass. And it's almost one of those things like, you can't do anything to me. You cannot hurt me. You cannot touch me because I am pure awareness. I am pure love. This light is so bright. It's blinding. You cannot touch me. And then I just felt like I didn't mind telling people that I love them. It could be people I didn't know. And there are some people who'll be like, I love you. And they're strangers. They're just walking past because it's real. We are brothers and sisters. And some of us may not be at this stage right now. And some people might feel like, well, I can't love this person because they're this way and that way. Have compassion, because guess what? At one point, someone probably said the same thing about you about something else. I'm just saying. Did you cut the person off while you were driving down the street? Did you cut them off? Did you drive through that red light when you should have stopped? It might have been a mistake. It might have been a mistake, but to someone else, it may have been perceived a different way. That's all I'm saying. We are all here to be fallible. We are all here to do the thing. You know what I mean? So it might be tough, and it might be, but sometimes I might look at my brother and sister and they could be doing some egregious things, and I would just be like, everything, we are all connected, we're all one. And I would just be like, wow, that person's me, that person's me, that person's me, that person is me. And I hold compassion, because not everybody is there. Everybody is trying to figure it out, and everybody essentially wants the same thing. Okay. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to share about this quote? Okay. Yeah. So back to the writing the 10 things down. And in this case, we're talking about someone, a relative, a family member, or whatnot, that we have to deal with, a coworker that we have to deal with on a regular basis, that we just right now cannot get out of it. But what we want to do is transform and transmute that relationship, that connection, to where it is loving. Whether or not they're loving with other people is one thing, but when you have that connection with them and when you're interacting with them, you leave the conversation or the office feeling perfectly fine, maybe even better than you did before. And that's what this is all about. That's what being a quantum being is all about. That's what flexing your magic and using your inner strength and your inner power is all about. Because it's not really about them, it's more about you. It's more about how you navigate. It's more about, okay, what is it about this person that is really bothering me, that my soul is requesting them? Because we speak on a soul level. So my soul at some point is saying, hey, you know what? I need more help with this. Can you help me? And that person's soul, yes, says, yes, I got your back. And then that person comes in like, and then you have to now be aware, have an awareness. Okay, am I going to go do this back, so we can both do this until the end of days? Or am I going to meet this with love and then elevate the whole thing with my dominant frequency, my dominant high vibrational frequency with love? Am I going to elevate this so that this relationship can grow and transform? And when you're doing this, it's ricochet off of everything else and everyone else. It's a domino effect. That's just law. That's just how it is, because there is a resonance. I always talk about the law of resonance. There's the cause and effect, all of that thing, the law of momentum. So the more you do this, you're building the momentum, and it's just physics. That's all it is. It's not woo woo and this and that. Science is finally catching up. It is all physics. It is truth and absolute. You know my thing. That's what I say, and that is that is true. So rewind this, because I tend to repeat. I'm not going to repeat it, because you have the option to reread, or not reread, but rewatch the video and just jot down just a few notes. Do these things and give yourself the opportunity to flex your magic. That is what it is. Science meets spirituality. I like that. Spiritual science is what it is. Okay, guys, I had fun on this live, although I think one person is out there. If you are watching right now, give this video a thumbs up, please. I'm about to do it for myself. Boom. Give it a thumbs up, and then do a solid and type a hello in the comments, just because this is my first time going live, I think, on this channel, I believe. And I was a little bit nervous. Okay, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Until then, live simply and be kind. Now let's see if I can turn it off. Let's see, what do we do? Do, 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 do. Oh, hey there. I see you. Thank you for jumping in because I'm still trying to figure out how to cut this off. The question is, are we just repeating those same nice things or do they have to be different to work? Actually, it you can this is and I've asked this question as well of myself and it's like, no. If you at today only have 10 and then tomorrow you kind of just have the same 10, I would do it again, the same 10. All right. If you have like one extra one you can flip out, go ahead and flip out a new one. Okay, before you know it, you'll be able to maybe add more to the list, and even by the time you're adding more, you'll probably see the transformation. Okay, but keep it going. Just keep it going and stand firm in it. Stand firm in your power. You got this. Thank you for that question. Oh, you are so welcome. Yeah, so many people have said the same thing. And even myself, I'm like, I had to do the inner work. I had to, that thing where you put your money where your mouth is. It's some things, it was so bizarre how things came up. And even though I knew certain things, the way it came out and just so in my face, I was like, wow, that's pretty rude. That's pretty rude. But I noticed how easy it was for me to shift out of the shock of it all, and I was salty at first. I was a little salty and slightly hurt. I allowed myself to feel those feelings, and I was like, okay, well, I know that I'm being shown. That's what we want. We want clarity, right? And now I know how to move forward. And it was real easy. I was surprised at how easy it was for me to move on too. It was like the same day, but it's because I continue to do the same work that I talk about here on this channel. Now, you can ask another question if you need to. Meanwhile, yes, oh my gosh, yes. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is my favorite thing. Let me tell you. First and foremost, we have to forgive ourselves first for whatever it is. It could be the smallest thing, the biggest thing, whatever we're hard on ourselves about or beating ourselves up on. We can only truly forgive others after we've already forgiven ourselves. And that is correct. If you have to do this for forgiveness, and this can apply to anything, because writing is magic, even if you're writing it in the air. You are sending a message to the universe. Okay, we are Wi-Fi signals. Okay, and when you're writing, you're not only sending it to the universe, but you're also reprogramming your subconscious. Your physical body on a molecular level is rewiring and reprogramming. So forgiving is key. That's the only way we can move forward in our magic, in our power. I mean, there are people who have gotten sick, physically sick, because they held on to things from 40 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Really, truth be told, last week. It's just a lot. It's a lot. The physical body. And then if you recant and rethink about those things, whether you did it or someone else, over and over again, the body is reliving it. And the stress, the central nervous system is kicking in, and it's just doing all the things. And people have gotten sick. It manifests in the physical. So the sooner we shed, and this is a season for shedding, and when I say shed, I don't mean, oh, a little bit here and there. Nope. Like I said earlier, Aries new moon and the Aries, it's just like direct and straight to it. No more twinkling around. Get to it, and yeah. That forgiveness is very important. And that was the thing too, what I was talking about, the relationships and the things that came in before me, during this whole time that was pretty bizarre. um, I was able to instantly forgive. I forgave before it actually happened. And I know that's what it was because I didn't even have any ill feelings. It was just that, can you have a little more tact? Do you really think I deserve it in that way? That kind of thing. But I know that it was presented in that way so that I can be clear, so that it, hey, wake up, see this, it's bubbling up, it's for your highest good. Everything is for our expansion. Everything, as ugly and nasty as it seems, as difficult as it seems, is for our expansion. So yeah, I'm here for it. I signed up for it somewhere. Absolutely. Every day until you have actually done it. And this is what I'm going to add to that. So the question is, so write down 10 things to forgive ourselves every day. Yes. And this is what I'm going to say about that. We are here to make the mistakes. That's part of our perfection. That's how we are designed, okay? And this is experience. We are here for an experience. And all the things that we go through, whether we did them to someone else or it's part of the experience for us, for the other person. We have our roles. We play the role for them. They play the role for us, whether they're strangers or loved ones, okay? On a soul level, this was the agreement. And so I want you to give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Know your heart. And then on top of this, while you're on this quest of forgiveness, ask for help. Ask your divine team for help in earnest. Okay? However you refer to your guides, the higher power, the universe, just ask for help. You will receive it. You will be shown. And when you ask for the help, just pay attention. Just pay attention. Pay attention to the signs, the symbols, the synchronicities, the conversations. You could be walking past someone at the grocery store and there's a couple talking to each other. You might happen to walk by and they say a word or a sentence that completely fits whatever it was that you had a question about or that you need to do or your next steps. Ask and you will receive. It's mind blowing half the time. I can't believe, like I just think about, I'm like, well, couldn't you just talk to me and tell me? I'm like, no, that probably would freak me out. Some people it won't freak out, but the others it might. And that might be why I get all of my messaging the way that I get it. I get messaging everywhere. Sometimes a bird is knocking on the window. Like birds don't knock on windows. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Don't do that anymore. No, but I love it. It's all love. It's all good. You got this. You're already forgiven, but just go ahead, connect with, if you're not already connected with your inner self, your higher self, your inner child, do what you can to connect through meditation. I did this thing and I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't set out to do it, I should say. I did do it on purpose when I was like, oh, let me go up here. It's kind of quiet. I'm by myself. Let me just sort of meditate. And then something said, you know what, just curl up in the fetal position and tell yourself you love yourself. And I started saying, I love you. And then I started listing all the things that I loved about me. And then I wept. I mean, boo-hoo cried like a baby. I wasn't like in pain or anything, but I boo-hoo cried like a baby. And I couldn't believe it, but it was very magical, very powerful. It's a cleansing. So that's something that you might consider as well. All right, guys, I am going to go ahead and end this. I said that before. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and end this live. If you have more questions, of course, put those in there. Thank you so much. I am truly grateful. I am truly grateful. Enjoy your day. And thank you for hopping in and hanging out with me. All right. I'm wishing you the best. You got this. Okay. I did not plan for this. Ooh. Let's see. Or maybe the X. Okay. Take care.